my fellow human beings, and welcome to episode 99 of the Best Plus Life. I'm your best host, Kristen, and today's topic is, it's time for a jam session? Let us eat cake bars. Before we get started, I want to thank you all for watching. Please continue to watch, comment, share, like, subscribe, ring that bell, and please pass them on to anyone you think that they would help. With that being said, here's our list of things to do today as I'm tying myself up here. Okay, so of course we have our daily inspirations. Next, I'm going to talk epiphanies. Our recipe today is going to be a cake mix bar. And, yeah. And I have a surprise. I'm so excited to share with you. So stay right there. I'll be right back. I'd like you to meet our new family member. This is Magnus. And he is a blue heeler Aussie, what are they called? Australian cattle dog, same thing, mix. And he's sweet as pie. He's a little stinker, and I love him to pieces. But I wanted to share him with you because I love sharing surprises. All right, bud, I'm gonna let you back down. Okay, you can go be a good puppy. And Mama's gonna wash your hands. Get the hair out of your mouth. Yeah. Now he's going to wonder what this cord is, and all hell will break loose. The good news is, Jordan was so kind to get me a wireless microphone for Mother's Day, but I forgot to set it up. So it is in need of being charged and paired and all that other good stuff that I'm not really good at, and it wasn't working for me. So hopefully, after a nice calming conversation with Jordan, I'll be able to figure it all out. Okay, so let me go over the recipe first, and then I'm going to do the daily inspirations. Okay, so this is actually called Easy Cake Mix Raspberry Bars. Okay, so, and I keep forgetting to mark my substitutions. But I think I only have one this time. Oh my gosh. Okay, so it is 1 18-ounce yellow cake mix, 1.5 cups of quick cooking oats, 3/4 of a cup melted butter. Yeah, that's a lot. 1 12-ounce or 12 ounces, however you want to put it, of raspberry jam, and that's where I put raspberry with no B. Raspberry jam, and then 1 tablespoon of water. And I am not using raspberry jam. My lovely daughter Peyton bought me some jam not too long ago, and it was caramel apple coffee jam jelly. Okay, so you know me being the coffee gal that I am, that is what I'm using today in our recipe. But before we get started, I want to do those couple weeks of daily inspirations. So I need to go back to, what day? I think May the 4th. I want people to feel happy in their own skin and feel accepted by society. Jazz Jennings. Humor is mankind's greatest blessing. Mark Twain. May 6th. Like a welcome summer rain, humor may suddenly cleanse and cool the earth, the air, and you. Langston Hughes. Humor, by far, is the most significant activity of the human brain. Edward de Bono. I couldn't tell if that was an M or an N. Okay, the 8th of May. A sense of humor is needed. Okay, I gotta reread that. A sense of humor is needed armor. Joy in one's heart and some laughter on one's lips is a sign that the person down deep has a pretty good grasp of life. Hugh Sidey. Sorry, Hugh. I totally butchered that. Okay, so the 9th is, I think the next best thing to solving a problem is finding some humor in it. Frank A. Clark. The 10th, a little perspective, like a little sense of humor, goes a long way. Alan Klein. Humor does not diminish the pain. It makes the space around it get bigger. I really like that one. Alan Klein again. That was the 11th. The 12th, to love is to admire with the heart. To admire is to love with the mind. So, Theophile Gautier. And I hope I didn't butcher that either. May 13th, instead of worrying about what people say of you, why not spend time trying to accomplish something they will admire? Dale Carnegie. May 14th, I just wished everyone a happy Mother's Day. The 15th, there is in true beauty, as in courage, something which narrow souls cannot dare to admire. William Congreve. The 16th, I really admire a woman for her intelligence, her personality. Beauty is not enough. Roberto Cavalli. And today, true enthusiasm is a fine feeling whose flash I admire wherever I see it. Charlotte Bronte. And I'm wishing my sister-in-law Kristen a happy birthday today. And let us get started on this super easy dessert. I know we all carry jellies and stuff in our fridges, but I mean, you could technically use any kind of like filling. What if you like peanut butter? Or those cookie butter bars we made. Those are very similar to this. You could do fruit or pie fillings or, I don't know. The possibilities are endless. Chocolate. Chocolate and peanut butter. It's just a means to get the deliciousness in your mouth. And what I'm going to tell you is today's is not healthy whatsoever. I mean, it's got 3/4 of a cup melted butter, which I'm going to melt right now. Okay, so there are two processes happening here. One is we're mixing the cake mix with the oats and the melted butter, and then we're mixing the jelly with the 1 tablespoon of water. I technically have 2 sticks, but okay, so while we're doing that, oh my gosh, I'm telling you what, this was a this jelly, for one thing, delicious. I keep forgetting to ask Peyton where she got it from. I know she bought it in a fit of frustration after having a bad day at school. But I'm going to mix the 1 tablespoon, but I believe I have more than 12 ounces of jelly here. But according to my measuring cup, I'm just a little bit above 12 ounces. So I don't know if the 1 tablespoon of water is going to be enough, is what I'm getting at. I might add a little sprinkle more. I think it's just to make it more spreadable. I am going to add just a trickle more. Whoop! That's my trickle. Right down my... And I'm literally not that much over 12 ounces, so I don't want to get... I think we're just making a sauce, really, is all we're doing, to make it more spreadable. But it is changing the, kind of changing the consistency of the jelly. It's not so clear anymore. But you wouldn't think caramel apple coffee jelly would be, well, for one thing, a thing. And for the other thing, I really wish I wouldn't have thrown the jar away. Let's see. Oh, it's right on top. Excuse my hands, I will wash them again. Corner Market Pantry caramel apple coffee jam. And it says it was an 18-ounce jar, and I don't think I used 6 ounces of it, but where she got it from so we can get more. Because if this dessert is as good as I think it's going to be, we're going to need more. All right, let's see how we're doing with our melted butter. It is melted. All right, and you know what else I forgot to grab? A bowl for that mixture. So let me grab a bowl. How's everybody doing? I hope all the wonderful mothers out there had an awesome Mother's Day. I had a pretty great one with my new puppy and my husband. My kids are, of course, sorry guys. My kids are, of course, in other states right now, but that's cool. I have places to visit. And I can't wait to see where Peyton goes to work. I hope somewhere warm. Okay, so this is combining the 1.5 cups of quick cooking oats, our cake mix, which I forgot. I'm not with it today. But you have to see the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? That you can still get a dessert together without being together. That's a good motto, right? Okay. Now I'm just gonna grab, what happened? Okay. My wooden spoon. I'm gonna kind of pre-mix the cake mix and the oats together. Okay. And we're making this in a 13 by 9 inch pan, and she said just to press it in there without any mention of any spray or, non-stickness. So I did that. I sprayed mine. I'm hoping that's not going to mess it up any. But I'm going to combine this until it's crumbly. Which I don't know how it wouldn't be crumbly with oats in there. Okay, let me put this in the sink too. We need butter dripping everywhere. Okay. So I'm hoping spraying it was not a mistake. Okay. I love the smell of cake mix. More than almost smelling a cake, if that makes any sense. But there's something about the ingredients already being put together and having that cake smell without baking first, And it kind of reminds me of pudding, too. You get that pudding sensation. Now, here's going to be the issue. I'm not sure my cake mix was big enough. Because there's no way this is. I'm supposed to have 3 cups of, and it's not getting crumbly is the other thing. Which leads me to believe I might need to grab another cake mix. I'm going to put you on pause for just a second to see what's going on here. And I'll be right back with you. All right, I'm back, guys. Turns out mine was 3 ounces, which is quite a lot short. So I stole 3 ounces from another cake mix. Same brand. Don't ever assume that all cake mixes are the same size. I don't know. I don't know that I've seen too many bigger than the ones I buy, unless it's like a double batch or something. I don't know. So I will keep my eyes peeled for the bigger ones as well. And this is becoming more crumbly as we speak, which is what we're looking for. So essentially we're making like a shortbread cookie crumble, right? And you know how I love me crumbles. But the smell of the cake mix gets me every time. That's what I was saying before I decided I really didn't have enough. And then the butter was going to be way too, it was gonna make it too greasy for sure. And I've had way too many bad experiences with greasies that I didn't want to mess this up. Okay. So, we need 3 cups of this mixture to go into the bottom of our 13 by 9. So, let's get this scooped in there. So I don't want to be exact, but it would be nice to be close so that I'm not overdoing the topping like I did with the cookie butter bars. I felt like it was a little heavy. Okay, so there's 1 cup. Heavy with the topping on the top. You know, that sounds silly, but I like to be silly, I guess. Oh, my puppy's all worn out. That's 2. Okay. Oops. It's flying everywhere. Okay. So now there are ways to make this probably a little bit healthier. I mean, the oats are always good. And maybe using fresh fruit as opposed to, you know, jelly. Maybe fruit that has been macerated and or thickened, you know, like those strawberry glaze pie, strawberry pie that uses a glaze. I'll get it. That would probably be really good in here, and it would be a lot more, because you would be making all of it, right? I mean, essentially, if you have homemade jams or jellies, oh, feel free. That would be awesome. So good. I'm gonna cry if this is not as tasty as it smells, because the smells coming from here are, I'm supposed to be pressing it firm. I'm not really pressing it firm. I think there should be no way for the jam jelly to get through, you know, to the bottom and burn. Maybe that would be a concern, especially since there's oats in here that are creating little holes. So while I'm doing this, I guess I could start our conversation about epiphanies. Because I know people have said in their lives, well, I've had these aha moments, or the light bulb went on, or off, or whatever. But I have these little moments in my life where I went, duh. And I'm not talking about, you know, you see these posts where you've been using this gadget all wrong your whole life. I'm not talking about that kind of epiphany. I'm talking about the epiphany that comes with a change in your whole perspective. Okay? Now, one of my main ones that has always gotten me is something I always get it wrong too. What people think of you is none of your business. More importantly, you shouldn't care, I guess is more what they're saying. But to put it in a blunter, more interesting perspective, saying that it's none of my business makes life a little bit easier. And it says to spoon this over. Oh, I gotta spit in there. But it definitely frees up a lot of time, because you're not going, oh, I hope they like me, or whatever the case may be, you know? Don't worry about that. You're supposed to be yourself, right? So, oh my gosh, the smell of this jelly is ridiculous. And when Peyton sees, because she's done next Friday, I get to go get her next Friday. I'm so excited. I miss my dolly. And she gets to meet Magnus for the first time. She's gonna love this because she's my coffee girl. And she loves caramel. And it's a cookie bar. Yeah, delicious. I'm trying to think of what else you could put on here. But I could do cookie butter, I suppose. Anything you can make into a sauce, really, would be the thing, you know? Because you can melt peanut butter. I mean, you could add the tablespoon of water or whatever to it, too, I guess. I would maybe see if I could do, instead of all that butter, do coconut oil. But, you know, I haven't had the best luck with coconut oil, so I didn't want to get, experiment with that just yet. You need to experiment more with it, because I'm a Costco member now, and I bought myself a big old jug of coconut oil, so I need to start using it. So we're going to spread this around. I wonder what's going to happen to the jelly. If it's going to kind of ooze through the topping. I swear that's what the picture looked like, but it also says make top even by patting firmly, so I don't know how firmly. I didn't think the top was supposed to look like the bottom, I guess is what I'm getting at. Just want nice, even. Okay. All right. You know, for something that didn't require a lot of ingredients, it sure is requiring a lot of equipment. That's on me, though. All right, and then we need to make top even by patting firmly. I don't know what that, but I'm just going to crumble it. Sorry, puppy, you can't have any. Jordan suggested I make puppy treats for this episode. And I'm like, that's a good idea, but kind of want to see the vet first and make sure of things that, I mean, I read online, but I still get paranoid. I'll make sure I'm not giving him stuff as a puppy he's not supposed to have. So he is going to be 12 weeks old next week. I got him from Rover Rescue. What a pleasant experience. I got to meet his mama and one of his siblings. The other three had already been adopted. The three girls were adopted and the two boys were left. So it was him and his brother Frosty. His name was Duke originally, but I like the name Magnus because I like a player that played for University of Denver. He's a goalie, and his name is Magnus Krona. I just think that's the coolest name. And he just, I don't know if he signed with San Jose or he already started playing. I don't know what the deal is, but pretty sure he's going to be playing with the Sharks because he's a really good goalie. Helped us win that championship. Not last year, but the year or this year when it was just happened. It feels like so long ago. Okay. Yeah, it's gonna get spread pretty evenly. I think that the difference is they want you to pat the top as opposed to pressing so much, you know. But it does have that crumbled effect on the top. My husband wanted me to name him Angus because Angus is guitarist for AC/DC, and he's Australian. But I'm like, no, I get your point. I pick you up what you're throwing down. But no, I had this name on my head for I don't know how long. I don't know, there's just some sports names out there that are just, their mamas knew what they were going to be when they grew up, because they're just kick-ass names, you know? I mean, come on. Ha-Ha Clinton Dix? Come on. Juju Smith-Schuster? Names are... Oh, there was another one back in the day. His name was Lawyer Malloy. I don't know why. It just rolls off the tongue. It's just a cool name. Okay. All right, guys. I'm going to put this in. I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about epiphanies. I'm going to take a break so I can clean up. And then I'll try a little bit when we come back. But, oops. This sign did not want to stay up today. And I lost a letter in the process. Alright, so it's supposed to cook for about 25 minutes. Bake 25 minutes. 375. That's pretty heavy. Oh, that buttery goodness. It's just going to be like, oh, so good. Alright. 25. I'm glad I read about that cake mix. But do you see what I mean about epiphanies? It's something that makes you grasp a concept that while you thought you knew about it, it didn't really make any sense until it was phrased a certain way. That's what I think of as an epiphany. Like, I could be reading a book, and there'll be a line in that book, can't think of one right this second, that comes to mind that just goes, what? Wait, what? And I love those moments. I love those moments that teach me a big life lesson, because sometimes I gotta have one of those smacker in the head kind of moments for me to truly not just understand it for myself, but understand it from the other person's perspective, because I don't ever want people to think that I don't know where they're coming from. I mean, I might not know, but I at least want to have that understanding of what you're going through. So I've always been that person that I really like learning from other people, especially when I realized when I was going to be a personal trainer that a lot of it was going to be online. So I was essentially just teaching myself. And I can't honestly say I necessarily liked learning from teachers per se. I liked high school. I did okay. Well, fine. And did go on to college for a half a second and found that I wasn't up for the structure. And while that sounds silly because high school was even more structured than college, there was a sense of, ooh, I'm free to decide what I want to do or pursue or whatever. Believe me, that didn't help any, and it would take at least 20 more years to finally figure out what I wanted to be when I grew up. And then that has even changed. Like, I've transitioned so many times with so many different jobs, careers, what have you. I've done so many different. I have a full gamut of experience on my resume. A lot of it retail, but also telemarketing back in the day, door-to-door sales, not cold sales, but still kind of just, you felt like you were just walking up and trying to sell these people. Yep, you guessed it, a vacuum cleaner. I just remember back in the day, that's how people would buy. Like, one of the big ones I watch from like the 50s, I think it's from the 50s, is Father Knows Best. And I swear there was an episode where she bought a vacuum, or another one is Hazel. She bought a vacuum from a traveling salesman. And I believe one of the shows I watched, they bought their pots and pans from a door-to-door salesman. So I remember that being a good portion of how you got certain products in your home. But now you wouldn't just walk up to somebody's house and ring the doorbell. Not anymore. It's funny how we transition out of certain careers and we start whole new ones. And it's hard to fathom that or what that career in the future will be. But it's kind of sad to see you don't see some of this stuff continue. Like the butcher shop. You know, I would love to just go to a butcher shop as opposed to a grocery store with a prepackaged meat, because it doesn't seem as though the butchering is quite as high quality as it used to be. Not that I remember it being fantastic, but I do remember it being better than it has been recently. But anyway, I digress. I don't know how I even got on that, but just remember that listening to people's stories is a great way to kind of have epiphanies. Especially when you talk to an older person or a senior, when they're explaining their life story, and they explain it in such a way that you come out of it with such a sense of, what do I want to say? Understanding of things. I don't know. I just love listening to people talk. Not myself personally, but I do love to listen to people talk and hear people's histories and understand people's backgrounds and where they came from and how they look at their aha moments are going to be completely different than how I look at mine. And how I get them, I guess, is more important, because they're not always spoken. I mean, I've read a lot of them, you know. I actually have a book called What Other People Think of You Is None of Your Business, or something of that nature. And it was very helpful. And I don't know why I can't think of any other ones. Maybe while I'm on break and cleaning up, I'll be able to straighten my brain out. It's been one of those days. And then this will be done in about 18 minutes. And I'll be back with you guys to hopefully be back on track. Oi. Well, when you know, the minute I put you guys on pause, my computer crashes. And now I'm going to have to edit two pieces together. What the heck. But we got about a minute left on this, what looks to be delicious. And it says cool before cutting. But I kind of want to try it. I'm so anxious to try it. But to get back to where I was before in that jumbled mess of things, is listen, read, I don't know. Listen and read. I find those are the two best ways to kind of have those aha epiphany moments, things that catch your eye and make you suddenly click. I don't know. I just find that to be one of the best feelings ever, to finally understand. Maybe even the simplest of things to some people might be going right over your head. And you can't explain why because you understand everything else, but this one thing. And then somebody says something to you just once. And you go, oh my gosh. Like, why didn't I think of that? Ooh, I like what's happening. I don't know. It's not very brown on the top. Let me see what the bottom looks like. It's still pretty liquidy. I'm gonna give it, I don't know. I don't want it to get dried out. Sorry about that noise. I don't want it to get dried out because that's what happened to those shortbread bars. They were good. I'm gonna do 2 more minutes. So, yeah. Listening and reading. Watching, yes, but it's more about hearing it than actually seeing it. Because for me, things people speak register a lot more than just a picture on the screen. I want to know what's coming out of their mouth as the thing is happening, yes, but I can more visualize in my head what is happening and hear their voice than look at a picture. If that makes any sense whatsoever. It kind of goes along with I'd rather be blind than deaf, that kind of thing. So I think in my head that's where I go to learning first, and that's probably why I pick hearing over seeing. I don't know, maybe a lot of people would. I know Peyton would. I don't know, I've never asked her that question, so maybe I'll have to get on that. But, I guess other than trying this, we're pretty much done. I don't know how long it is yet, because the first one got cut off, there's no time on it. I hope it's all there. Fingers crossed. Even though it was a jumbled mess, it still showed us this cool, fun recipe. And I'm sure there's gluten-free cake mixes out there. I believe Aldi has them. So you could use that if you need a gluten-free cake. For this, to replace the butter, again, I really would want to experiment with the coconut oil before I tried it. And I don't know, like I said, fresh fruits over jellies if you wanted to go super healthy or super healthier. I don't know if it's super healthy, but alright, I'm just going to let it cool completely. Because I think it's jiggly because of the jelly, obviously. But we'll see. We'll see if it hardens. If it doesn't, I'm going to cry. And I think I'll put you on pause again. I'm kind of scared to, but I'm already editing, so what's one more? But I want to let this cool off before I try it, because jelly, I have a feeling, would be pretty painful to eat if it's kind of molten hot. All right, I'll be back in a few minutes. Fingers crossed. All right, I think it's at least cooled enough for me to try a little bite. I'm kind of nervous, but I just want to take a little bit of the, oh, I got a little bit too much, but that's okay. That'll be my piece. Oh, that's real good. That's good. Oh my goodness. That jelly or jam, oh my gosh. It turned in kind of it almost turned into a caramel, kind of. It has this kind of creamy, a little not chewy. I can't think of the texture. But it could be because it's still a little warm too. I mean, I just had to try it. It was sitting here staring at me. And that way I can let y'all go about your day. Because we're done. And I hope that you get a chance to find your epiphanies out there. Sorry, I'm flinging my arms around. Because it really does make a difference in how you walk through life. I don't know, I just find them really important and really meaningful, and when you get it, kind of just makes you feel good, you know? And we all need that kind of aha, feel good kind of moment. So, with that being said, all I have left to say, I think, don't forget about our challenges. Follow me on Facebook at Kristen Haas, KristinHass, and follow me on Instagram at The Best Blessed Life. Check out the challenges, make sure maybe those are helping you out with something. And with that being said, I hope you have a good day. Go do great things. Be your best self. And please live your best blessed life. Thanks for